Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Chicks, Three Seats. We hope that everyone had a wonderful and safe Labor Day weekend filled with restaurant sales, events, and hopefully a little bit of time to rest and enjoy the end of the summer yourselves. With Labor Day passing, we are now fully in fall mode. Yay. And we're
And
so
mood, all mood and mode.
fall mood and mode, and we're so excited about it.
Mhm.
Summer, of course, had its moment and it was great. Lots of exciting things happened in summer of 2022, but now we are ready for cozy jackets, spiced beverages, fall decor, and all of the fall holidays. And Kate, extra fall fan over here. I mean, I think I'm just as much of a fall fan, but I know you're very
Uh,
enthusiastic about
Oh
the
my God, I
fall.
love the fall. I feel like every year when it comes around to fall, I always get like super excited on our episode that's like fall themed because I love
Right.
fall. I almost showed up today with like a wreath of leaves around my neck and I was pumpkins everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Pumpkin spice. I mean, I do have my Starbucks, but it's just a shaken espresso, so not exciting.
You're
But
not the classic white girl pumpkin spice yet.
I don't love pumpkin spice. I'm gonna be honest, I love fall, but I don't love pumpkin spice. So, I like apple cider though. There's that. There's that piece of
I
it.
love apple cider. I love apple cider. And fall, my birthday is in October, so another
Sweet.
reason to love the fall for me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, you guessed it. We are talking about fall event and hospitality
Wow.
trends this episode.
Duh. No, I'm kidding.
Duh.
Are we? Yeah. All right, I'll kick it off with cocktails, obviously, because that's what I always do is kick it off with cocktails. We read an article from Punch Drink that kind of inspired us talking about martinis today. And according to this article, in literally every proper bar in every proper city everywhere, martinis are having a big moment right now. So this time around, they're attributing that to the rise in popularity of the once shunned espresso martini, which shout out to my husband Mike. It's his favorite drink. Loves
Mike
an
is a basic Gen Z white girl.
he loves an espresso martini. He also loves a really hoppy IPA, but also loves an espresso martini. Like yeah. And every time
That's
there's one on the
great.
menu and we're at a place where we think like the martinis would be good at, because there's some places where you don't really want to order martinis. He always like gives me that look and I'm like, you're gonna do an espresso martini, huh? Yeah.
I just think there's nothing better than ending your night with an espresso martini, which is it's hilarious because I don't like coffee, so I don't like espresso.
No, I was gonna say that. Like that's weird to me that you like espresso martinis, but you
I don't know
do.
what it is, but then I just love ending any experience, whether it be dinner
No,
out, whether it be a night out, end it with an espresso martini.
I hear that. Now, do you like them creamy or are you more of like the like because I like mine pretty like dark. I don't like a lot of
Right.
Mike likes it with Bailey's, he likes it creamy. I'm on the other side. Like I like it like no Bailey's, no cream, really.
Right.
Just
So if I'm trying to be skinny, which is most of the times, then I will order it without the Baileys and no, like I want it as least creamy as possible. But if I'm
yep,
having it for like a dessert, then maybe I'll do one that has Baileys in it because I do like it, but unless I like want to mess up my stomach and
I
just
hear you.
feel awful, then even if I get like two of them, I'll get the first one with Baileys and the second one without. But actually, as of lately, though, I really have been skipping it altogether and just going without the Baileys and creaminess because yeah, it's a lot.
It's good either way. I just my stomach does better if I don't have the Bailey's included. And I also really like I like my coffee strong, so I guess it makes sense that I like
Right.
espresso strong too. But obviously, martinis come in all shapes and sizes, not just espresso martinis. They can be shaken, stirred, they can be sweet, bitter, and like the ones I like, really, really strong. So I've always been a lover of martinis. Specifically, my go-to is always a kettle dry, shaken, like definitely not stirred. You have to shake the crap out of that thing with a lemon twist. And that's it. Like literally just cold vodka in a glass. So
Love
that's
that
my
for you.
yeah, it's my go-to. But this article talks specifically about how Gen Z has Rachel's generation has embraced martinis, making them popular again. And I was telling Rachel earlier before we were recording that I feel like this is something that happens with literally every generation. We just forget about it when a new like moment from a new generation comes up. So for my generation, obviously, it was Carrie Bradshaw and her friends drinking cosmopolitans that were way too dark, by the way. Like, no cosmopolitan should ever just look like cranberry juice in a glass, but I digress. It's fine.
I don't even like Cosmos.
All right. I feel like I have an affinity for them because of like the Sex and the City generation and watching Carrie Bradshaw and like I wanted to be Carrie. So like I feel like and I have the curly hair, you know. I always felt like an affinity, and I was like, I was an English major, like I like to write. I was like, oh, I'm totally Carrie walking around with my Cosmopolitan, but I don't love them either, and most bars don't make them right. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like I make a really good Cosmo. Maybe I could change your mind. We'll see.
I also need to just like point out the Boston accent on Bradshaw Shaw
I
that you just
know.
had a
And
second ago.
I tried to pull it back, and then I was like, I mean, there's no hiding it at this point. Clearly, I'm from Boston. But yeah, I mean, they always drank cosmopolitans, right? They always drank them like literally every night. Like Tuesday night, they could be in like a really hard to get into restaurant or just sitting on Carrie's couch talking about her latest men trouble or whatever. So love Cosmos. And I think that that's my generation's surge in martini popularity came from that. But before I talk about other generations' surge in martini popularities, I need everyone to know that the Cosmopolitan actually originated in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and the fabulous gay bars in the 70s. And then those fabulous gay men took the Cosmopolitan to New York City, where then Carrie Bradshaw and her friends could enjoy it. So just
I did not know that.
throwing it out there. Yeah, it was the 70s, and it was gay bars in Provincetown.
Shout
So
out P-Town.
just another reason to love our gay men. Like just
Love
one
that.
5 bazillion reasons. So um anyway, so obviously the generation before mine, it was like I remember like watching like when models were literally like 80 pounds, like Kate Moss, and they were drinking like apple martinis. And I thought like before I could drink, I thought apple martinis were like the coolest thing ever. So we have like your apple teeny trends. And then obviously during my parents' generation, which is like very far back, they became popular because James Bond would always ask for a Vesper martini, shaken, not stirred, which is like the famous line. Basically, my point is that martinis have a moment and a very welcome spot in literally every generation. Not just yours, Rachel, okay?
Okay. It's really interesting thinking about because I don't think I would have put all those pieces together like you just explained. So
I mean, I could have gone, if we had more time, I literally could have done every 10 years, like what martini was popular and why. So,
right.
yeah, I feel like, and of course, martinis were invented in like probably England because that's where all the good cocktails were invented. And I'm sure Ernest Hemingway drank them and like, you know, like was just amazing. And
Right.
when they started, like the 1800s or something. Anyway, so I'm going to move forward now and stop talking about like martini trends and talk about martinis that your venue can make this fall. So fall inspired martinis. I put together two here that I've made before. And for all my basic bitches out there, the pumpkin spice espresso martini is a must. It's super easy to make and it's very similar to making the regular espresso martini. So it's 2 ounces of vodka, and you don't need expensive vodka. Like I mean, I would recommend nothing below Tito's ever, but like if you don't have anything better, it's fine. 1 ounce of coffee liqueur, so that's like Kahlua or another brand. And then 1 ounce of warm, freshly pulled espresso. And I say warm because the only way you're going to get that really cool froth top is if it's warm. So just like a little tidbit there. Make sure, and that's if you're using something creamy like Bailey's, which I don't recommend using for this one, but if you love Bailey's and want to throw it in, you don't necessarily need it to be warm because the Bailey's will make that froth. But if you want that, like, you know, the ones in the pictures that you always see in the coupe glasses and they have that really pretty froth on top, that's because the espresso they used was warm, not hot, not cold.
Interesting.
Warm. And then you can use, so pumpkin spice simple syrup is the last ingredient. And you can, you know, I mean, if you have a Home Goods down the street, chances are there's some pumpkin spice syrup like waiting for you to purchase. It's literally just what Starbucks uses when they make the pumpkin spice lattes, but you can make your own too. I don't have a recipe on hand, but I know it's super easy to make your own. So you could just make your own if you want to get like really gangster with it. But you can use like 1/2 ounce to 1.5 ounces of pumpkin spice simple syrup, just depending on like how much pumpkin spice you like. And then you just shake it over ice, pour it into a coupe glass. And then if you have espresso beans, you can throw 3 on top for good luck. and that's it. Super easy. And then
Yum.
right? It is good. I don't love pumpkin spice, like I said, but I've made these before and they are really good. I just use a very little amount of pumpkin spice syrup. And it's great. You can also do it with like you can make cinnamon syrup. Like you don't have to use the pumpkin aspect of it. You can still make it fall flavors, like almost like a cinnamon dolce latte from Starbucks.
Right, right.
But anyways.
I don't think I've ever had a pumpkin spice martini before, so now I'm gonna be on the lookout for them.
Yeah, and like I feel like because this one's mixed with espresso, it's not as like in your face pumpkin spice. Like it's not going to be like creamy and like well, like a caramel apple
Right.
martini. I know it's apple and pumpkin, but I feel like sometimes people can get a little. I feel like sometimes bars make like most of their fall drinks are like too sweet and like in your face, apple or pumpkin or whatever it may be. So you don't have to be. It can be more refined, a more refined palate. And then the second one that I put on that I want to talk about is the apple cider martini. And you can literally make this any way you want. My favorite way to make it is 1 ounce of fresh apple cider. I say fresh because I feel like in the fall you can get fresh apple cider literally anywhere. So just like buy the fresh stuff. It's definitely tastes better than like the Mott's like fake apple cider, to say. And then 2 ounces of vodka and 1 ounce of orange liqueur, like Cointreau or triple sec. And you just shake that and then pour it in a coupe glass or a martini glass. And you can garnish that with a cinnamon stick, or you can garnish it with like an apple slice. You can do a cinnamon sugar rim if you like things sweeter. You can also, if you don't love vodka, you can sub out like spiced rum. You could also add maple syrup if you like it sweeter, or use apple vodka. Like there's so many different ways you can make this one. This is just the way I make it. And I like it a little stronger. So those are my two. And I feel like they're pretty easy, and it's probably things that you have in your restaurant or home already. So yeah, get out
Yum.
there.
I
Make
can't
those
wait
fall.
to, I'm gonna be on the lookout. And when I find a good one at a bar, I'm gonna send you a photo.
Please
So
do. Please do. Rachel lives in New York City now, so there's many more bars to
my
go to.
newest personality trait. I'm a New Yorker, guys. I left Boston, loved it. Now I'm on to bigger and better things.
Always be a Boston girl, though. I'm just saying.
I
Like,
know, I
you
know.
could take the girl out of Boston, but look at me. Not that I went far.
I know it's gonna be funny. I keep joking. I'm hoping I'll find my, future love of my life here, and he'll end up being from Boston, and
He'll
he would
probably
have
be
been
from
right under
Boston.
my nose the whole time.
Yeah, he's probably from like Malden or
Yeah,
something.
the most Boston you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
But okay, so along with our fall themed episode and along the lines of what you can be offering at your restaurant and events, we're going to talk about one of our favorite fall festivities, which is dun 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 football season.
Oh, not apple picking.
Oh, whoops. That could be on number 2 on the list.
Kidding. I like
So
football.
by the time you're hearing this episode, the pro football season would have just started yesterday, September 8th, if I did my math correctly. And that means that NFL football fans are ready for Thursday nights, Sunday nights, and Monday nights to be spent at sports bars around big TVs or in their homes in front of a big spread of hopefully catered food and
Did
other
you
goodies.
see? Sorry, I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I did mean to interrupt you, but did you see that Thursday Night Football is only on Amazon Prime now? Is
Is
that right?
it?
Yeah, I saw a commercial on TV and I was like, wait, you can only watch Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime now? I don't know. I might be wrong. If I'm
That
wrong,
seems like
let me
that
know.
seems very like that should seems like it shouldn't be. That seems like I don't know, like you're robbing the
I
whole
agree.
yeah.
I agree. I know where you're going and I totally agree. And I have Amazon Prime, like I can totally watch it, but
Right.
just seemed weird to me. That's all.
Interesting.
All right. Continue.
Well, okay, so and on Thursdays from your Amazon Prime network, and hopefully the bar has it, one of the
Yeah, right?
patrons can log into their Amazon Prime account.
Imagine.
Or if you're a college football fan, which I mean, yeah, some people are, a lot of
Yeah.
people are, then Saturdays maybe are your day. But with that being said, if you're listening and you fall under the category of either being a sports bar and restaurant, or you offer other catering services that kind of have that football Sunday kind of food, then this part of the episode will definitely apply to you. So we have a couple things to talk about here in regard to football season and how it can help the events and hospitality industry. So we know that bars and restaurants definitely go out all out for Super Bowl weekend, but why not basically spread that energy every weekend throughout the football season is kind of my take on it. So if you start off with some fun offering right away in the season, and if you're listening to this now and you feel like, okay, I haven't done anything yet, there's literally next weekend or the weekend after, like within the first couple weekends, if you start off by having these great offerings, then you can hopefully get those regulars coming in, form that community of people who come back to your spot every time there's a big game that they want to watch. And then they'll be your regulars for the football season. So when it does come to these football game day bar and restaurant offerings, what are some of the things you want to think about is what are some of the things that will make your establishment the most appealing to these football fans? So some of the classic ones that are pretty easy to do, but could be different drink specials during game day hours. So like $5 beers until the games end, pitcher deals. Maybe you have wings and pizza deal for like in-house and also to-go orders. There's so many different promotions that run normally for like Super Bowl weekend, but you could be doing these all year round during those peak football hours. And then you can go even further than just the food and tap into your local team camaraderie within your community. So in New York, like the New York teams, in Boston, we love our Boston sports. Everyone, you have your local community that can be centered around the bar scene as well. So for this example, I talk about the Buffalo Bills. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, Kate. Okay. I'm a Bills fan.
I've been friends with you for a couple of years, Rachel. I know.
So I'm using some Buffalo Bills examples here. So maybe you could offer a free pizza slice coupon to every person in the bar that is inside when your team wins on game day. So if you are a Bills fan, then this could happen more often than not. Whereas, if you're a Jets fan, then you'll probably save your money.
Wow. You took it there, huh?
I did take it there, but go
ballsy.
Bills.
Especially since you just moved to New York. Ballsy move, Rachel.
I know. I'm sorry. I must have Jets fans friends that I don't know, but it probably sucks to be you.
Yeah.
Okay, dial it back, Rachel.
It kind of sucks to be a New England Patriots fan right now as well, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cricket. But then you could also lean into certain players with these promotions too. So Josh Allen, his number is 17, quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. If he passes perhaps 17 points in the game, then maybe someone in the bar gets a free something special for an offering, or maybe playing on the names of the drink after players or the team. So a couple of examples, I love doing this for any like themed thing. So keeping with the Bills fandom, we have the Buffalo Bills Beer Mosa.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, we have the touchdown tequila soda, which obviously would be ordered a lot because of all the touchdowns. And then we have probably a least popular one because it doesn't happen often, would be the sacked spiked seltzer slushy. So yeah, fun, right?
Yeah, maybe you should start doing marketing for restaurants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But so those are kind of fun. And have you had a beer mosa before? It's a beer mimosa. Like I was honestly looking up first like the game day classic drinks and then putting a spin on it for the theme for the Bills, but I don't think I've ever actually drank a beer mimosa before. Like no, I haven't.
I've had them. There's a restaurant near me that they have like a lot of craft beer and they do craft beer cocktails. It's like their thing. And I had one there. It was really interesting. It was good. It was actually, I do this all the time. It was actually really good. Like surprise. I mean, and of course it was, right? Because like beer is good, orange juice is good. And they also did it with like mango juice and something else. I forgot. There was another option. All very good. So
yum. Well, yes. And honestly, maybe it could even be a time to play around with some drinks when you have a lot of drinkers around you at your bars looking to try. So those are a couple ways that you could play on it. And if you can't tell, we did just have the triple seed fantasy football draft last night. So we're definitely in the football mindset, but there's just so many ways you can promote around football season, all with an attempt at making your restaurant or your bar the place to go to for watching game day. And then another thing about like just bringing the camaraderie in is, I mean, I feel like if along with those offerings, thinking about the ambiance as a whole of your restaurant or bar, and and if you are a sports bar, then chances are you do already have all these things like jumbotrons, multiple huge flat screen TVs, like a rooftop space to enjoy games while the weather is still nice, or sports memorabilia on the walls. If you have all these things already, then there's just like literally no reason not to just try with one of these promotions, even if it's just for a couple weekends of the month or of the season. If it's every weekend, whatever you're able to handle, and especially in major cities where you have a lot of fans, like here in New York City with
Yeah.
questionable with questionable teams.
Can I add something to that?
Yes, please do.
So when I was managing a bar in Boston that was really popular specifically popular for well, for all games, but Saturday, like we were the home base for the Florida Gators, so they're all of their football games, which is also a great idea if you're not in a place that has like, there's a lot of like smaller towns and actually big towns with big colleges that have like more of a fan base for college teams. So like you could get groups that there's like the alumni groups that are everywhere, right? So even if you're not in the city with the college, if you can like tap into the alumni groups of big colleges, like the Big Ten colleges for football, and even for basketball for that matter, but we're talking about football right now. For football specifically, that's like an open invitation for 200 people to show up at your bar every Saturday afternoon, which is like a time that maybe you're not as busy as you are like Saturday night or Sunday for football games. So that was something that I wanted to throw out there, but also make sure you test your sound before you open the doors to a shit ton of football fans on a Sunday and your servers are overwhelmed because everyone put in their order for like, for wings and pitchers of beer at the same exact time, and the bartenders are cursing each other and like the kitchen's going crazy. Like, make sure you test your sound.
That's a good tip.
Have been in this situation and it is not fun. So test your sound. AV kills every event, as our fearless leader John O'Morse will tell you, but it also is also very relevant inside of restaurants. So test your sound, because it's not so much fun to watch football when there's no sound on.
That's a very, very, very great point, Kate.
Ooh, I'm surprised I had my job after that day, but it wasn't my fault. I just didn't test it. Test it. Make sure you test it.
That makes me stressed to think about how you being in that position.
Oh, yeah. And not only was I in that position, but I was in that position and all of my other managers were away because they were all at an away. I think it was like Miami and like the Pats or something were playing one weekend in Miami and they all went, but we had the Gator people coming in that Saturday and they left like Saturday morning. So no one else, it was just me and like my staff, but just me in a manager position. And like, I had like my door staff. I was like, oh my God, please help me. Like, what is happening? And it wasn't like, it's not the technology of today. So it's, in one way, it was less complicated, but in another way, it was like not fixable. You know what I mean? Like today, I feel like you could fix it with other avenues. Like,
right.
It was just like speaker dead, like done, down, like the whole system just like, and it was a Saturday and we were a popular night spot too. So like going into the night with like a DJ arriving and stuff, we figured it out. But there were a couple hours there where I thought I might be killed by like a Florida Gator woman. So
jeez, and that's a scary individual.
Those college football fans, man, the ones that already graduated but still love college football, they're scary.
Oh yeah. Capital F's.
Yes.
Well, anyway. Okay, that is a good reminder. And another last note, which actually is what inspired this part of the episode, as kind of like another reminder along those lines, is an article from Modern Restaurant Management that just had a few reminders on like the safety front, because with all the fun that I was describing, we were just talking about above, football season obviously can get rowdy. And in a perfect world, everything would go smoothly, but you're going to get hopefully not as much, but you're going to get your drunk fans who have had too many beers in the beer special over the past couple hours. So make sure that your team is, and I know you can step in here in a sec, but make sure the team is ready and trained to handle any situation. So the couple, like, just like I'm going to read like 3 of the tips. They said, bartenders, don't be afraid to refuse service, have capable door staff in place, closely monitor the alcohol service, remain vigilant during the peak hours, and implement procedures and protocols among your staff to be able to handle any kind of situation that may come about when there is so much going on at your restaurant.
100%. And even if you're not a restaurant, like if you're a restaurant and you don't have, like you normally don't card people, you don't have a door staff, hire a door staff. If it becomes that this is like the spot to go for whether it's college football or, or the NFL, like make sure you have a door staff for those events, because if you have 200, or even like 50, if you're a smaller place and there's 50 of them in there, you're going to need a very well-trained door staff to handle that. And also I recommend walkie-talkies between your door staff, which sounds silly, but like a lot of places don't have them. And I think the place I worked at was 2 floors, and the 3 different rooms with TVs playing, and it's loud, and people, and it's like you could have like 300 people, so the capacity limit was huge. People were yelling at each other. If I couldn't talk to my door staff, like I don't want to text them. I want like to talk to them. If something's happening 3 rooms over and they can't see it because they're at the front door, I need them to get to me quick. So hire a good door staff and get yourself some walkie-talkies. Those are fun anyway.
Those are fun.
We used to walk around before like people like service would start, just like messing around with each other on the John 4, like, and then of course things got serious and there was no more messing around.
Oh my God, so good.
But yeah, those are very good points, and I think important. All fans are rowdy, but I do think that football fans are a particular kind of rowdy.
Oh yeah, yep.
They like their drinking, so, and hockey fans can get a little rowdy too, but like in a different way. I think football fans are usually the scariest.
Yeah. Go Bills, go Bills.
Go Pats. I don't really care. Go whoever's on my fantasy team for this week.
Well, Josh Allen happens to be my fantasy quarterback, so
I went Tom Brady. I know it's crazy.
You like hate Tom Brady.
I do hate Tom Brady. And I feel like you can take this either way this year. So he's clearly having problems with Giselle, right? Who I hate more than Tom Brady. I hate, so whatever. So like I have a weird thing about Giselle. It just drives me nuts. I think either it's going to go one of 2 ways, right? Either he's going to be so stressed out that he plays like crap the whole year because he's so stressed out about Giselle, or he's going to be like, screw you, Giselle. Like, I'm Tom Brady and I'm going to like win a Super Bowl this year, and then I'm going to retire and I'm going to shove it in your face. So I don't know.
Well, for your fantasy league, I'm hoping it's the second option.
I did get his running back too, so I feel like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Stay tuned. Maybe you have some fantasy football promotions too at your restaurant. There's just so many things. Football season is such a fun time. Like, take advantage of it all.
Drafts are a great thing to do in restaurants where you have like AV that works really well, and people can like plug in their things, and you can have like, you can do like pitchers of beer and like appetizers for fantasy leagues. Obviously it's too late now, but
we'll be back in the maybe we'll talk about sports moving forward for all sports, but we'll definitely talk about Super Bowl stuff too later on at the end of the season.
One of my favorite topics. I'm just kidding, but I do like talking about.
We're such sporty spices.
I'm such a sports girl. No, you are. I am a hockey tennis girl. I don't go much further than that. So,
All right. Anyways,
moving on. So let's get away from sports and talk about weddings, because it's a great
segue.
Smooth transition, ladies. But fall is obviously a gorgeous time to have weddings, especially if you live in a spot with the foliage. Like, I can never say that again. Every year I say that word and I can't say it.
Say it again.
No, I'm not saying it.
Foliage.
Places where the leaves turn colors.
I don't even know what you just called it.
I don't know. No one play that back. I can't say it. It's one of those words that like gets stuck on my tongue and I don't say it correctly. Also, combined with the Boston accent, it's not a great word to say. Anyways, so clearly we live in New England, not anymore. Rachel doesn't, but I live in New England where like it's the leaves are beautiful. I'm not saying it again. Leaves in the fall are gorgeous. So why wouldn't you want to get married in a setting like that? In New York, upstate New York, especially, same. So yeah, fall weddings. I think if you think of fall, when you're thinking of decor for your wedding, obviously like pumpkins, like leaves, maybe lanterns, lighting, fall tablescapes, and like anything fall related is going to be seen at events and weddings alike. So obviously there's both. You can have other events in the fall as well. But all of that beautiful decor is like, I think what makes this fall wedding so special. And it's so easy to play off all the colors. Like there's so many colors to choose from. when you have a wedding in the fall that will go well, especially if it's outside. So yeah, I saw our wedding last year. We were at the Omni Mount Washington Hotel in New Hampshire for something, I forget what, but there was a wedding going on and it was like the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen. I was like, wow, this is like, and their backdrop, if you've never seen it, look it up. It's incredible in the fall. It's like the prettiest time to go there. And it's just like all these different colors in the background and it's gorgeous. So yeah, you can do that in a lot of different places. But yeah, I mean, fall colors, you can do them with wedding dresses too. So I was in a friend's wedding, God, a long time ago now. I feel like 5 years ago at this point. But she had her wedding in the fall in New England, and all of the bridesmaids wore dresses that were fall colors, but kind of muted. So it wasn't like in your face orange, it was like a burnt, muted orange. And all the dresses were made out of tulle. So it was like, it was like a lighter feel to the dresses. I think there was like a maroon, like a deep burgundy color, not really a maroon, like a burgundy. There was a burnt orange, there was a hunter green, and then I wore, and a few of the girls wore like a mauve rose color. It was just like, it was so beautiful. And all the bridesmaids and the bride had leaf, like what do they call them?
Like veils.
Yeah, like crowns, like that go like kind of like, they're kind of hippie-ish looking, but they were made out of leaves. It was gorgeous. And then she had on the tables, there was like, she herself, and she had, real flowers in vases. They're like gold vases with flowers, like fall colored flowers. But then she made these like long, like different colored leaf, like tablescapes with candles in them. It was just so pretty. Oh, and it happened to be like basically a hurricane the night she got married. And it was a tent, but it didn't matter because it was just so gorgeous inside that you were like, okay, it doesn't matter. It's just beautiful. So I do think that like, all the colors with bridesmaids, and then you can match them to the groomsmen's suits, and it's just so much you can do with color. And of course, I talked a little bit about decor, but you can mix florals, and I'm not going to say with
florals with foliage is what she's trying to say.
And things. But you can do that in like an arch display or on the tables like I talked about before. You can have cozy furniture if you're able to like adjust the furniture at your venue. On the chairs you could try like draped chairs or like a lounge area. I think it's just like, it's such a warm fall. You just want to be like warm and cozy, and it's so cool to do that with decor and with furniture and all kinds of stuff. Velvet is another one that's like a really fun thing to do. The friend that I was talking about, her belt was like a deep burgundy velvet color that she had on her dress, and it like popped really nice, and she had like the same color lipstick. It was great. I'm kind of jealous of her wedding, actually. I got married in the spring. I didn't really have a choice. And it was gorgeous. It was on the water, so it made sense for it to be spring, but on the ocean, not like a lake. But it was like, I love fall so much that I think I would have, killed it with the fall decor. I had to go back and do it again. And then of course you could use some of those fall cocktails that I mentioned. You could do like a themed cocktail, which are big right now. And I don't know. I mean, I think it's a really beautiful time to like have an event, even if it's not a wedding. I think like candles look really even prettier in the fall. Like you have that warm feeling. In winter is the same way, but I feel like there's just something really special about fall and how you can play off of all the colors and the mood. And I think like smells and like tastes in the fall are just like really like loving and warm and like cozy, and yeah.
Oh, I totally agree. You can taste it.
Right? I think like if you just like lit some like, pumpkin or apple cider candles around like discreetly, you don't have to be like in people's faces because some people don't like that. The scents being that prominent, but I think it's just a nice way to create ambiance from like every point. So fall weddings.
Maybe I'll get married in the fall someday.
You should. After you meet your from Boston, but now based in New York, financial something or other
husband
makes a shit ton of money. You guys can get married in a beautiful venue in the fall, and I will wear a burgundy dress.
I love it. I can see it already.
You see it? I will live broadcast the Two Chicks, Three Seats podcast from your wedding. Reporting live from Rachel's wedding.
That'd be pretty beautiful, to be honest.
It would be.
Wow. Well, I'll let you guys know when that
When that
happens.
happens.
You have to stick around for some years down the line.
I know.
But okay, so our last topic for the episode, for our fall themed episode, is fall gifting. So when I say fall gifting, I'm thinking like fall themed gifts that can be used in a variety of different event scenarios in the fall. So maybe general fall party favors after an event, bridesmaid gifts, shower gifts, corporate event gifting, anything along the lines of gifting in the fall months, and so on like that. So this topic was inspired by an article from Taste of Home, which I'll link below, but it's titled 16 Fall Gift Basket Ideas to Show You Care. And I think sometimes it can be tough to think of like a unique, not overdone. And I guess like overdoneness can sometimes be subjective to like what you think.
Yeah.
But also staying relevant to the time of year, I think is a really cute way to also keep in mind whenever you're creating gift baskets like this. So a couple of the ideas that I liked most from the list that I thought would be nice for the fall, and I'll link to this article because a lot of them you can buy pre-made from like either a gifting website or from like Etsy was selling a couple of them, or you can take these ideas yourself and kind of DIY them with your own, like, tap into your local vendors, tap into any of the connections you have in your community to create these kind of gift boxes depending where you are. So the first one is the cozy box, which I think this one would be my favorite. And it's a classic fall one. I don't think this could ever be too overdone because it is just classic fall. But the article describes this one as sending a big warm hug in a box. So if that's if that's what you want to show your appreciation for whoever is going to be the certain someone receiving the gift box, then this is the one that you want to follow. So the gift box it's actually sold on Etsy, and it contains all the essentials for a cozy fall night. So you have your candle, your knit socks, warm beverage mix. You could select from hot chocolate, tea, coffee, a cute mug, a journal, and some caramel candies. And it is sold on Etsy. And one of the comments was saying that they got this box for their entire staff. It didn't say like what kind of business, but for employees, for a work retreat. So everyone loved it. I thought that was a cute idea, kind of that little gift box to show appreciation and take on the coziness of fall. So that was a good one. The fall meat and cheese box is the next one. So everyone loves a charcuterie themed box. And I know that there's tons of charcuterie box companies or charcuterie companies in general. And I'm sure that they're going to be selling something like this in the future, like these fall months. So like you could look at one of those local spots, or you can try to DIY a charcuterie box yourself. DIYing, just make sure that like when you're shipping it, obviously you're thinking about like the logistics behind that because you do have perishable items. So ordering from a company could be easier in this situation, but maybe if you have like an in-person, it could be like, okay, you gift them as like maybe the beginning of the event. We see all the ways that during like the COVID months, people were doing single serving little charcuterie things. So maybe you can incorporate that into your fall themed event or as a gift box. But this gift box, I can't remember the company it was sold by, but the elements of the box are kind of classic charcuterie box, like cheeses, meats, crackers, jams, cutlery, and a cute fall themed cutting board that said "Give Thanks" on it, which I thought was really cute. I think the cutting board is a nice touch too, not just like the food, but then having it for the display as well.
Yeah.
And then the third and final one is the seasonal flavors breakfast gift set, which I thought was also cute. And it kind of plays into the various scents of fall. So the key elements for this box were buttermilk pancake mix, pumpkin spice, various nut butters like cashew, almond, peanut butter, and fresh maple syrup. And this reminded me of like a quintessential Vermonty or New Englandy gift basket that could work for kind of a variety of audiences, either on the corporate side or, I mean, I would give this to my girlfriends after some sort of like gift, like a bridal shower, that kind of thing as well for the fall wedding.
I agree. Like if you're having, and if I was gonna say, if you're having a thing, these, how people do like, will you be my bridesmaid, like boxes now? You could do one of these with like, if you're gonna have your wedding in the fall, so like
That's
keep
cute.
on theme, right?
No, that's super cute. I know. You want to gift one of these to me, Kate?
Yeah, sure.
I'll gift one back.
What's the keep one? No, I'm kidding. You're definitely you're a cozy box girl. Just saying. That's your vibe.
Thanks. That's what I go for. Nice and cozy and approachable.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Keywords. Well, we hope you enjoyed this fall themed episode and let us know right into our email at 2chicks, the number 2, 3 seats at triplec.com and let us know what other fall promotions you have coming up. And I'm like, if you have any football promotions, let us know because we want to hear about those especially.
Yeah, and if
But
you
anything.
like, right, if you're a bar or restaurant that does like any venue that does football promotions and you've been doing them for a long time and you're really good at them, like maybe you can come on the show and talk about it so that you can share your ideas with other people. That might be fun. Now that we're in football season, everyone's very excited about it.
I'm more excited than ever before now that I have this fantasy league for the first time.
You've never done them at Triple C before?
No, I've never joined. I see it every year, and every year I'm like, I want to do it, but then every year I don't. And so this is the first time I was like, okay, we're really gonna make this happen, and I'm so excited now.
I do it every year and I lose every year, but I feel like it keeps me like updated on who's playing every week and like and because I really only pay attention when like the Pats are playing. Like I only watch games the Pats are playing. But I feel like this is a way for me to be like, oh, like the Bills lost. Just kidding.
You won't see that often, but I do have to say I have like half of the Bears, I feel like, on my roster, and then I have like 2 Bills players, but I definitely have teams that I like would never watch the games for. And not that I'm gonna watch every single football game, but I definitely will feel like I have more involvement and joining that football community.
Exactly. And I think I have a Bills player. I don't remember who, but I feel like I do. I'll have to look back and see. It's all a blur. I feel like it happens so fast and it's
it
like
happens
your turn.
So fast.
You're like, oh my God, there's a countdown. I don't know what I mean. I'm like, Mike, which one's better? Yelling from the other room.
Yeah, I was texting with my dad who was also at his draft, and I'm like, I got him. Did you like texting back and forth?
Last year, Mike made me like a game plan. He was like, all right, you should really get, and then this year he was like, no, because you suck at choosing during every week. So I'm not helping you this year. And so I was literally just like yelling to him in the other room and he was like, I'm not helping. I was like, just answer this one question.
So funny.
But anyways, it's fine.
Thank you for listening, everyone.
Yeah.
And we hope you have a great start to your fall.
Yes. Go fall. Go fall, go Pats.
Go fall, go Bills. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of 2 Chicks, 3 Seats, your events industry podcast, brought to you by Triple Seat, the industry leader for event management software. Find out more about Triple Seat at triplec.com.